watching CP Voice, and I'm super excited about my show today because my next guest is an acclaimed singer from Nashville. She's known for her pensive lyrics and her spine-tingling vocals, and she's been nominated for multiple Dove Awards. Here to talk about her latest album, Need You Now, and her new memoir, Need You Now, A Story of Hope. It's the wonderful Plum. Plum, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You've been super busy. I know you've been touring on Winter Jam and a number of other festivals. How's that been for you? Are you enjoying it?
It's been a blast, and Winter Jam was luxurious. That's the word I like to use. It's just everything was in place, and there was a routine, and there was a schedule, and everybody just kind of had their role, and they played it, and it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. I loved it.
Connecting with fans, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, to be able to see that many fans in that few of dates in comparison, like 57 dates is a lot of dates, but there's 10, 20,000 people at each show, so it's amazing.
Super fun. The album Need You Now has had rave reviews. I know you released the deluxe edition today, and you've also got a new memoir, Need You Now, A Story of Hope, today, so congratulations on that.
Thanks.
Were you ever nervous about sharing so much of your truth in this new book?
You know what? I wasn't. I feel like in this book, it's a chance for me to spend more time than I have in a song from stage. Often you have, 3.5, 4 minutes to share in a song, or you introduce the song for 30 seconds, or you talk to a fan for 2 minutes after the set. And the book was an opportunity to kind of tell more of the story, of the different stories that I'm kind of drawn to telling. So often talking about, people ask about how I got signed, or how I met my husband, or my parenting, or my children, and even more specifically, as of late, the crash and burn of my marriage and the rebuilding of that. And so it's just been a chance to kind of tell what God did, and I feel like it's an opportunity to be faithful as well. I feel like I'm supposed to tell the story. So.
Yeah. And how long have you been married?
It'll be 14 years next month.
Wow, congrats. What are some of the challenges that you share in the book about your marriage?
Man, how really good things can compete with what is great or best. And in our life, how we got really busy doing a lot of good things, but in that busyness, there was an overwhelmed sense in each of us that for some reason we weren't capable of sharing with each other, and it created a disconnect. And in that disconnect, darkness and evil just kind of took over, and some pretty awful things happened, and split us up, and we were headed for divorce. And God did a miracle in our marriage and brought us back to each other. But before He did that, He made us better as individuals before He gave us back to each other. And I feel like now we're sort of a force to be reckoned with against evil, because I'm such a fan of what God did. And I said on Winter Jam, actually, night after night, when I was introducing Need You Now, about how my husband and I split up and we were headed for divorce, and God took His gloves off and told Satan where he could stick it. And it was like He fought for me. Like He really fought for me, but I learned that you have to give God that permission, that God gives you a choice, and you can try to manipulate and do things and orchestrate things yourself, and you'll lose every time. But when you actually just let go and truly let Him do what only He can do, it's better than you could have ever imagined. And that sounds easy, but it's really hard. Really hard to actually let go and let Him do what only He can do. And He might ask you to do things that are hard. And for me, He asked me to shut up, and I was just talking too much, and to just listen to Him and be willing to do whatever He would ask of me. And so it was a very, very, very difficult time. However, what He did is so beautiful that I can't help but share it. And so I want that story out there, because I feel like it is a true act of God, and can encourage and inspire other people to believe that there's always hope.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. I mean, I'm sure it's going to help a lot of people. You guys share 3 kids. How do you keep the romance alive?
Well, we have date nights. Date nights. Sometimes date nights are like going to Home Depot and getting a pizza and just
simple things.
Not having 3 people around to ask us anything. But you have to be intentional. I mean, you really do, and it's not easy. You think like when you're dating and you're falling in love and getting married that will just always be there. But you have to be intentional to kind of keep it there. So date nights are really important to us.
Most definitely. And what's some good advice that you can share? I'm sure you have advice in the book, but what's some advice you can share with, you know, a couple that's maybe struggling and thinking about divorce? You know, how were you able to overcome? I know you just shared.
Well, there's, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of different factors, but I would say the single most important thing that God used was a licensed Christian marriage and family therapist. It's someone who is not a friend. They're not a pastor, they're not a family member, they're somebody who can actually be objective, and they're educated. They're a clinician that actually is trained to walk people through these kinds of emotional roller coasters. And so, and to also surround yourself with community that is for you all, not for you and not for him. And it's really tempting to have that girlfriend that's, you know, on your side. But in reality, when she has the best of intentions, she might actually be a toxic poison.
Absolutely.
To kind of building up a defense against, you know, a case against your husband, or vice versa. And so you're really being careful that you're with friendships that are encouraging you to work on you, and being gracious and encouraging of your spouse to also work on them, so that you can actually reconcile and not just, you know, be your fan. So.
Yeah, that's really great advice. Plum, I have to ask, you are always dressed so eccentric and fun and cool. Who are some people that influence your style?
Oh man, they're pretty diverse. Audrey Hepburn, there's just a classic to her that I know that she didn't have purple hair.
Right.
But just, you know, she wore a lot of black and white. And then on the opposite spectrum of Helena Bonham Carter, I've just always, like, from when she, I mean, Frankenstein, the movie, I mean, Bram Stoker's Frankenstein. She's just so eccentric and weird, and she's in the most beautiful way. And she's married to Tim Burton, who's one of my favorite, you know, directors. And so there's just something like dark and mysterious about everything that he does, and she's drawn to that as well.
Right.
But there's something really hopeful and beautiful about everything that he does, though. And so I think that musically, and I think just in my personality, I think that kind of describes me, so that's probably why I'm drawn to those things.
For sure. Well, you look great.
Thanks.
And thank you so much for being here. I know the album's available on iTunes.
Yes.
What about the book? Where can we find that?
The book is also available on iTunes and Kindle, and you know, my merch table if you come to the tour.
Okay, well, they're both very inspiring, and definitely check it out. Plum, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Again, the album is Need You Now. It's available on iTunes, as is the memoir, Need You Now, A Story of Hope. Thank you for watching CP Voice. We hope to see you again next time.
I just let go, and I feel exposed.
Throughout my time with Plum, I got a good sense of the love and devotion that she has for her family and the strong passion she has for music. I was particularly impressed with her honesty in sharing how she overcame the struggles in her marriage through faith, and overall, I have a tremendous amount of respect for her as an artist.
I've been such a mess.